Hello guys, so I'm walking you through my sacred rage ritual I did the other night, and these are some herbs that I used and burned. I also burned some frankincense. Originally I wanted to do this with Kali, but I was feeling Lilith's energy and I really wanted to embrace that. I always go with the flow spiritually. With every ritual I do, I like to prepare myself at my altar. I meditate on the sigil. I like to induce trance. I like to do an invocation or an evocation of the spirit I'm working with. And Lilith actually really showed her appearance. Right here I'm doing some energy work, directing. Here is where I am evoking, after invoking Lilith, my rage. And right here you see me looking around. Every time I look around, as I'm really trying to pull and invoke that rage energy, Lilith was knocking, making noises, knocking items over. The flame was growing. Now when it moves, I think that was my breath, but the growing of the flame, I think, was her energy as well as mine, feeling that spirit. There at the end, I kind of had to yell because I had invoked so much rage, thinking of everything, that I had to release a little. I did acquire a very deep message from Lilith. It's personal, so I do not feel like I want to share it. What's interesting, in my previous video, I said that I was going to create a storm inside me. During my ritual, a storm came, a heavy storm, a big thunderstorm. So I was like, it's for me. I went out there in the darkness, I screamed, I raged to release it, and then I danced, and then we relaxed and watched the rain. I had somebody help me record, and I did some of the recording of the ritual, but this was not the full ritual. I don't like to do that because a lot of it is personal. So you got small little clips of it. Very, very small glimpses. My rituals are usually a little long and elaborate when I put my all into it, and this was one that I really wanted to put everything into. And yeah, so it was really, really cool. It was intense, and I think I needed it. I feel so much better. I feel a shift in me. Though we may not always, get rid of all of that, that's okay, because we can utilize that in ways in our lives. But I thank you so much for being here, for being that sisterhood, brotherhood, for reaching out and being a wonderful community. I thank you so much for doing this with me, being on this journey, and even not understanding, still supporting me. Welcome back, Darklings. Today I am going to do the spreads for the Channeling the Divine Feminine tag that I did not get around to. I'm a little late on last week's tags, which is the Hell Hath No Fury and the Lilith spread tag. And we're just going to do them both today. I'm interested to see what these readings will say for me, especially pertaining to the Lilith spread, because as far as my sexuality goes, I'm very comfortable in that. I'm very comfortable in owning that. If I have a desire, I'll go for it. Okay? Like, go ahead and insert devil card here for me when it comes to my sexuality. And I don't care what anyone has to say about it. Alright, so first we are going to do the Hell Have No Fury. This is the one that I'm particularly interested to see what the cards will tell me. How I had this spread lined out was we do a archetype draw where you use the major arcana cards, or if you have like a goddess deck or an archetype deck, then it will be perfect for you for this, the first question, which is, what divine feminine archetype am I embodying right now? So it can give you an idea of how you kind of manifest or create that divine feminine energy. So the other day I went to go start this spread and I got interrupted. I did get Isis, but let's see if that's changed. Let's see if this work has somehow changed this archetype I'm embodying now. Seems that we're into a new week. I've felt a big energy shift. I feel a little bit different energetically. So let's see what goddess archetype type energy I am embodying. So I am using a goddess deck, and this week I got the sirens. I love that. Luring people or men to their death. I don't know what's going on in the sky, but you know, I am feeling like a siren. More like a succubus, but that's a different story. For the Hell Hath No Fury spread, I am going to be using this deck. I think it's appropriate, and when I go to do readings, I really like to kind of feel energetically over my decks first before I choose which one I'm going to use, and just kind of see which one is poking out to me or wanting to be used or heard or work with me that day. How do I internalize my anger? Oh, okay. I got 4 skulls. In this deck, the skulls are actually the cups. So this would be the 4 of cups. I absolutely agree. When I internalize my anger or any emotion, I really reflect. I go within, I withdraw, and I really try to evaluate every single little detail about it. So I definitely feel like when I'm angry, there's one of 2 ways I can go. I'll go the extreme and explode. It just depends really on the situation, or if I've been holding on to it for a long time. Or I will deeply, deeply reflect and then kind of carry resent and have to evaluate every detail to try to get over it or find some way to express it. Or I will feel trapped and be in this 4 of Cups state for a long time if I don't find some sort of outlet for my anger. All right, the next question, what is this deep root of anger I'm carrying now? I'm going to ask. What is the deep root of the anger I am carrying now? Okay. I got the 6 of Hellfires. All right, so the Hellfires in this suit is the Pentacles. For the root of my anger, it says that this card reminds you to make sure that you're also giving to yourself. A little self-care will go a long way, especially if you have been in giving mode for a long time. Consider buying a little gift to show yourself appreciation for everything you've done. So sometimes I do feel like everything I do or give isn't always seen. And one thing that I really, really resent, I will say, or it does make me angry, is when you feel taken advantage of, or like you're not seen or heard or acknowledged for what you do. I get angry and it builds, but it's like no matter how angry I get at this, I need to really start setting up boundaries, because really I'm angry at myself, I feel like, for doing this, for giving and giving of my own energy. And it doesn't have to be like materialistic things, just giving in general or always being there, but some are not there for you in the same way that you intend to be there for them. This can go on in your family life, at work, anywhere that I am not acknowledged. And I think that comes from a place where I take great pride in everything I do, everything I work for, everything I work towards, including for other people. It makes me feel good to do it. But it also makes me feel really shitty when it isn't either acknowledged, or it's not so much as like giving back, it's acknowledging what I do, you know, like thank you, or, you know, hey, this was really great, I appreciate you, you know. So that can definitely cause me to harness some anger. The next question is, how does society contribute to my anger or guilt? All right. I got the Hanged Man and the Queen of Skulls. Okay, so starting with the Hanged Man on how society can make me feel angry or guilty. I feel like the way the societal structure is that we have to sacrifice a lot, right, when we're dealing with the system or society's rules of the system in general. I've never really cared for control or authority. I feel like society can be really restricting, and it causes you to have to make sacrifices to even survive or to live sometimes. And regarding my anger, like I have immense anger for that reason towards society and for restricting us in any type of way through control. I want to break free of limitations always, and I feel like not just in like toward the feminine, but it restricts everybody in some sort of way. Now, carrying on with that thought to the Queen of Skulls, which is the Queen of Cups. Honestly, intuitively, what I think she's representing here is the way that I tend to be emotionally attached sometimes to the way the world is, the way humanity is, society, everything is a structure. And sometimes them emotions can get a little imbalanced, but for the most part, I kind of have it covered. Like I use and follow my own way, my own intuition, my own guidance when it comes to the world and societal structures. And it balances all that out, all that anger, all that rage. I come to terms with it in my own way by walking my own path. And by always kind of, with my emotions, it's like a cycle of they'll come out, it'll feel out of control and chaotic, and then I bring it back in. And I balance that out and I utilize it to help me walk my path further. No matter what society does to make me feel limited or try to make me feel guilty, sometimes it might get the best of me, but for the most part, I have that covered. I really did care much what people thought of me personally when it came to me, my beliefs, or what I do personally in my life. It's like, if you got a problem with it, well, then you're not for me, you know, move on, because I'm gonna be me regardless. Let me tell you, man, high school, those years were horrible. I lived in a small southern town in the Bible Belt, and I was the only Gothic kid there. They labeled me satanic, labeled me a monster. They pinned a serious crime on me, and they found out later, you know, I didn't do it and all. There was an article I wrote in the newspaper, everything, to out them about this and to really kind of clap back at all of the school and the whole system there. And I called them out publicly for it. I always resisted the status quo in a way, and I always will. And taking an example out of that situation, yeah, it might have, for a moment, made me feel ashamed or guilty when people pointed fingers at me, when they would make jokes when I walked down the hallway. You worship the devil, you sacrifice animals, don't you? And I would hold this anger or resentment towards that, and towards small-minded people. And it would almost consume me until, like the Four of Skulls there, I reflected, I went in, and like the Queen of Skulls here, I took that back and I clapped back. And that's always how it's been. And that I don't desire to change about me at all. Because the comeback is always greater than the setback, baby. How do I embrace my sacred rage? I got the 3 of Cups. I was talking, and after I shuffled and I realized it wasn't recording. Anyway, so I feel like I am already doing that. And with this tag, I did this. We came together and we kind of, in a way, celebrated it, right? We wore those crowns. And honestly, as a very emotional and watery person, I always have been. From a little kid, I was so sensitive. I had to really learn emotions, and for me, and how to process, how to balance them, how to become emotionally intelligent. And that was no easy road. But one thing about me is I've always embraced. Well, I have always embraced every emotion I was feeling in some shape, way, form, or another. I was never afraid to show my emotions, and I was never afraid to embrace them. If I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. Now, I don't like to around people, but if I'm going to cry, I'm going to cry. If I'm going to scream, I'm going to scream. If I'm going to be happy and silly, I'm going to be happy and silly and joyful. And that you will definitely be able to see in me. Everybody says my face betrays me. I can try to have a poker face all day long, but my emotion will shine through it. And I already embrace it when it's needed. Guys, so let's get right into the Lilith spread. For the Lilith spread, I'm going to be using Venus Morningstar Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I love it so much. And it feels like a very feminine energy type of deck to me. The way this feels in my hands. Gosh, these cards, I love them so, so much. All right. What part of my sexuality needs attention? What part? Oh, okay. 3 of Cups. We got that in the last reading as well. Maybe I need more of it. More coming together. More embracing it with my partner. Number 2, desires I've suppressed or denied. This should be a very short list. I should have got the 3 of Cups for that because, like I said, I've always been very, very sexual. BDSM scene, you name it. If I liked it or wanted it, I did it. I don't care if you call me a slut. Ha 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 ha. The Empress, baby. Yeah. See what I mean? I am that bitch. I also got 3 of Wands with it. So, with the 3 of Wands too, again, I feel like I should just try to make time to embrace a bit more time for that. Number 3, how can I step into my sexual power? I got the 10 of Cups. I always call this the fulfillment card, right? Yep. Like I said, pretty fulfilled there. Like, I will claim that. I mean, you're talking about someone here that has an incubus trying to get a succubus. Lessons from past experiences. Ooh. Okay, now this one may show me something. Because I spoke in my video about the divine sexuality. And I spoke about you seeing your worth, right? Through sexuality. And I used to feel like that. I used to feel like I needed sex to feel loved. It took a lot of growing, a lot of shadow work, a lot of healing to step into and own my sexual power without feeling like that. And so I got the Ace of Wands for this question. I think I know what this means. With my current partner, and I'm not going to get into detail, he brought a little bit of new stuff into the bedroom for me. I thought I had experienced it all until him. And it's lovely. And I think this is telling me to embrace this side of it, this side that I haven't explored much in, and own it and love it. And the final question, guidance from Lilith. Let's see. Guidance from Lilith. Ooh, thank you. Ace of Cups. I love this deck. I know I said it before, but with this deck in this book, it talks about more emotional awakening, overflow of emotion, fulfillment, love, new beginnings, intuition, empathy. What I feel intuitively too is that Lilith is trying to tell me that my emotion, my intuition, and my empathy, though I feel weak for it a lot of times, it is my power. It is my strength. And I can use that to my advantage. And I do very much believe that. So, wow, I think that was a beautiful message. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I really appreciate everybody who's done this, done the work, done the spreads, who's been with us on this journey, through this collaboration with Rochelle and I, Amethyst Ascension, Divination and Spirituality group. That link will be in the description. If you haven't joined, please do. I really need to do a huge shout out and thank you to Rochelle for her work behind the scenes with me on this also. Rochelle's amazing and so supportive, and I do appreciate her so much. She was so kind enough to help me with this, help me with the structure of it, help me reformulate the spreads, and she created that beautiful digital journal. The link to that too will also be in the description, and you could get it anytime, even after this work. It's never too late to join and do this. There's also other people's in there, so if you haven't done it then and you want to personally do it, go check her Ko-fi out. They are beautiful, beautiful, and I thank you all in the community. Sending you love.